The following is a review for critical, analytical, and educational purposes only, and is protected under Article 17 and 107 in the United States Fair Use Code. This video is not an infringement on copyright. Please enjoy the video.
Hello, I'm Alexthehunted, here in my lair, giving you my opinion that is honest and fair. 50 years ago, one of my favourite ever franchises started. With a role that's been played by multiple actors and not a single bad performance, this is one of the best known franchises in the whole world. Taking you to gorgeous places around the world and even space, taking stunning women along the way, and amazing gadgets. I'm of course talking about James Bond. Yes, last year James Bond celebrated its 50th anniversary with the pretty epic Skyfall. But that's not the first anniversary film that has James Bond involved in it. No, today we're going to be looking at the 40th anniversary James Bond film, Die Another Day. You know, that's usually the reaction I get. Yes, Die Another Day, the last film to feature my second favourite James Bond actor, Pierce Brosnan. And this was also to celebrate the 40th anniversary of the James Bond series. But also, as you're about to see, this was supposed to be the answer to another up-and-coming film franchise involving secret agents. No, I'm not talking about the Bourne Legacy, I'm talking about Triple X. Yes, back in 2002, it was thought that the Triple X was going to be a genuine threat to the James Bond franchise. So, to show that James Bond could still cut it in 2002, they made Die Another Day to show that James Bond can just be as cool as Triple X. You know, that film franchise that was so popular only got 2 films? Well, anyway, let's stop talking and let's take a look at Die Another Day, the Bond film that nearly ended the franchise. Right off the bat, you know the film's in trouble when you see this. Okay, where do I begin? First of all, what's with the beatbox music over the James Bond theme? I'm fully expecting James Bond to walk up wearing one of those ridiculous hats the wrong way round. Second, the bullet is going through the barrel of the other gun. This is supposed to make Bond look extreme and cool. But I just bring up, is it actually doable? Is it possible to shoot a bullet through another person's gun barrel and kill them? I don't think it is. We open in North Korea with Bond, trying to be a serious dude by catching some really rad waves, or whatever the kids today say. And after he's done that, I'm amazed to see that Bond has actually doubled in size when it's turned back to Pierce Brosnan. Anyway, Bond and his 2 helpers redirect a helicopter so Bond can hijack it and impersonate a diamond smuggler, and also plant some C4 in the case containing the diamonds. He's off to meet Colonel Moon, who you can tell is the bad guy and a hard ass because he uses people for punching bags. When Bond gets out of the helicopter, his picture is taken by Moon's right-hand man, Zhao. As Moon greets Bond, he shows off his collection of cars. Gee, I wonder what's going to happen to them.
They'll blow it all at once.
Yeah, guys, get used to these puns, because Bond's going to pretty much utter them every other line. I mean, he's nearly as bad as Mr. Freeze. Anyway, Bond gets revealed by a mole in MI6 and is captured. But before he gets executed, Moon's father says that he's coming and Moon has to hide the weapons because they're in the demilitarized zone. Bond then blows up the case with diamonds, which gets implanted in Zhao's face, and the cars also get blown up. And Moon tries to escape, but Bond gives chase. And what's in this chase scene, you may ask? Well, it's pretty much Michael Bay's wet dream. So Bond manages to beat Moon in this amazingly cliched fight by driving the hovercraft off a cliff. But he saves himself by grabbing onto a bell. So guess what pun we're going to use for this scene? Go on everybody, guess. Go on, guess. Yep.
Saved by the bell.
Also, Bond is by himself when he says this, so who the hell is he talking to? The audience? Is he aware that there's a fourth wall? Anyway, Moon's father shows up thinking that his son is dead and captures Bond and tortures him, which is actually a pretty dark scene. But then it gets ruined.
I'm gonna wake up, yes and no. I'm gonna kiss some part of, I'm gonna keep this secret.
The theme tune to Die Another Day is by far the worst Bond theme that has ever been put to film. I mean, it's not even catchy, and I'm not even a music guy, and wow, is this bad! So after that god-awful theme, we cut to 14 months later where Bond is being traded for Zal, who for some reason still has those diamonds in his face. But is also told that MI6 has a mole. So Bond is then knocked out and then scanned with God knows what to make sure it's him. He then has a meeting with M, played by Dame Judi Dench, as she reveals to him that the only reason that they got him out was because they thought he snapped and was leaking information about MI6, so they'd had to get him out as quickly as possible. Bond tries to tell M that there's a mole in MI6, but M then tells him that he's lost his 00 status and that MI6 is going to keep an eye on him. Wow, Bond's lost his license to kill. It's not like we've seen that happen before. Oh, wait. So then Bond tries to escape by doing, well, this. Really, what did Bond just do? What was that? What did he do? There's no explanation for it and it never happens again, so what the hell was that? Was it just the writers wrote themselves into a corner and they had no idea how to get Bond out of this situation, so they did that? Also, Bond is being classed as a dangerous captured agent, so he must be like surrounded by 50,000 guards. Or he could just walk off the prison boat where he's being held. There is not even one guard, he just slowly walks off with no one stopping him. Wow, those MI6 budget cuts are really hitting home. Also, as you can tell by this amazingly obvious backdrop, Bond is in Hong Kong where he just walks into a hotel and gets his own room, suit, and finds out where Zhao is, with no effort whatsoever. Really, the hardest thing he has to do is do more one-liners. Bond then goes off to Vivant in Cuba, using the old Universal Exports cover so he can get some help.
Help, Mr.
Bond.
Mr. Bond.
I gotta love how Bond is the only secret agent who just happily gives away his real name at every opportunity. Being a secret agent and the shit ton of stuff he's done, he has masked a ton of enemies, and now MI6 is after him. But his name is just so cool he doesn't care being easily tracked. So Bond heads off to a hotel where he can get a view of the island where Zhao is, which happens to be a gene therapy clinic. You know, I gotta say, this movie is really plodded along with really not that much happening, and it's not very good at keeping the audience's attention. This is the greatest movie ever made. Yes, I know it's a reimagining of Ursula Anderson's entrance in Dr. No, but my God is this scene sexy. But anyway, this is where we meet Jinx. No, not that Jinx. This Jinx, played by Halle Berry. And I gotta say, this scene is pretty damn sexy, so let's hear Bond and her subtly flirt.
Predators usually appear at sunset.
And why is that?
It's when their prey comes out to drink. Too strong for you?
I can learn to like it, if I have the time.
How much time have you got?
Until dawn. What about you?
Oh, I'm just here for the birds. Ornithologist.
Ah, ornithologist, huh?
Wow. Now there's a mouthful.
So you're gonna be busy tonight with the owls then, huh?
No owls in Los Organos. Nothing to see till the morning. Not out there, anyway.
So what do predators do when the sun goes down?
They feast. Like there's no tomorrow.
Did I say subtle and make creepy as all hell? It's made worse with it being followed by a very graphic sex scene with Bond and Jinx, which gets to the point of being scary when Jinx pulls out a knife. Like she's gonna castrate Bond or something. But no, it's so she can cut up and eat some fruit. What, did she get hungry in the middle of sex? And also, where was she keeping that? To just pop it out? Wait, don't any of you dare answer that question. The next morning, Bond wakes up alone, which is actually a bit funny because that's usually the other way round. But anyway, he and Jinx are both off to the island, with Jinx going undercover of being a client wanting to go through the gene therapy surgery, and Bond just knocking out some random asshole as a distraction so he can find the secret medical centre. Why this place has one, I have no idea. And also I have no idea if this medical centre part's supposed to be so secret, then why does it have this? What is that? What's it for? I mean, I know it's some kind of art piece, but why is it being kept in a secret medical centre? Who suggested this? Alright, as you know, we are a hospital, so therefore have a very tight budget. So we need to make sure every penny counts. Has anyone got any suggestions on things we could branch out in? Oh, I know, sir. Do you know how we have that secret medical room? Yes. Why don't we, now hear me out on this one, why don't we have huge spinning mirrors and DNA statues so it's in a secret medical room so no one will see it and it's just going to be there for no apparent reason? And how much will this cost? $782,000 plus tax. Well, I see no reason why we shouldn't. So Jinx meets a surgeon and gets the rundown on the gene therapy. And just listen to this.
So we are to have DNA replacement therapy. Let me explain the two phases. First, we kill off your bone marrow. Wipe the DNA slate clean. Phase 2, introduction of new DNA harvested from healthy donors. Orphans, runaways, people that won't be missed.
Oh, look what you just did. You made medical science cry. Are you happy now? Wow. Just wow. There are so many amazing mistakes. Okay, you know what happens when you remove a bone marrow from a person? It doesn't wipe out their DNA print. Oh no, it kills them. Second, DNA is on every single part of the human body. You can't get rid of it. I think I'm right in saying that this film has officially jumped the shark. Well anyway, Bond finds Zhao in the middle of the gene therapy operation to turn him into some British dude, even though he still has those diamonds in his head. But like I said, bullshit. Bond then tries to interrogate Zhao but ends up getting into a fight with him, and even though Zhao is in the middle of getting his bone marrow removed, he seems to be able to fight really well. Also, this fight scene has some atrocious slow-mo, with it going blurry and multiple frames. Well, Jinx kills the surgeon and plants some C4 in the office with a timer, but that only stops Bond from catching Zhao. With Jinx also failing to kill Zhao, she nearly gets captured by some guards, but then she gets away by doing this. Well, she's dead. Nope, she survives that enormous cliff jump because shut up. In the fight with Zhao, Bond removes a bullet necklace which opens to find some hidden diamonds, in which when looked at has the markings of a diamond miner called Gustav Graves. But these ones so happen to be conflict diamonds. So Bond flies back to England. Remember, he is being hunted by MI6, but that doesn't stop Bond flying first class, which means he should be incredibly easy to track. Back in England, we meet Gustav Graves, played by Toby Stephens, who was one of the actors who was going to take over the role of Bond, but obviously that didn't happen. But he has then gone on to voice Bond in a BBC radio play of Dr. No. Anyway, Graves makes his entrance in a subtle, I use that word loosely, reference to the ski jump scene in The Spy Who Loved Me. Bond catches up with Graves in a fencing club, and this is where we also get Madonna's cameo.
There is he. James Bond. Your lesson.
I see you handle your weapon well.
I have been known to keep my tip up.
Get it? Also, I know this is just a cameo, but Madonna cannot act. She is so dull and lifeless. So Bond challenges Graves to a fencing match, and then flat out accuses Graves of being a terrorist. So, of course, instead of having a subtle and dignified fencing match, they go for the old traditional way of first blood from the torso. Which, even though it is a pretty awesome fight scene, it is a case of...
Boy, that escalated quickly.
I mean, Bond doesn't have much evidence apart from the diamonds to say that Graves is involved with some terrorist plot, so doing this will only make him known to Graves. And if Graves didn't want to be found out, then why is he trying so hard to try and kill Bond? That's going to make you look incredibly suspicious. Well, Bond ends up winning, and Graves invites him to his ICARUS demonstration in Iceland. Bond then also gets a chat with Graves' assistant, Miranda Frost, being played by Rosamund Pike in her film debut.
Can I expect the pleasure of you in Iceland?
I'm afraid you'll never have that pleasure, Mr. Bond.
Get it? Frost! Because she's supposed to be an ice queen! Wait a second. And her name is Miranda. That sounds way too familiar to something else I know.
Excuse me, Commander Bond. Someone left this for you. Place needed redecorating anyway.
Who are you? Anyway, the key in the letter turns out to be for an abandoned underground system that MI6 uses. Bond meets up with M, who tells Bond that MI6 is also keeping an eye on Graves and wants Bond to investigate. So they rehire him.
Give me the old firing range any day, Quartermaster.
Yes, but it's called the future, so get used to it.
So, this is where they keep the old relics in, eh?
I'll have you know, this is where our most cutting-edge technology is developed.
Point taking.
Must you touch everything?
Does this still work?
Now look.
So where is this cutting-edge stuff?
I'm trying to get to it.
And can I just say, John Cleese's Q was some really good casting, and he is really good in the role. Even though he's only appeared in 2 films, he should have gotten more. But then again, he did give us this.
Maybe you've been down here too long.
The ultimate in British engineering.
You must be joking.
As I learned from my predecessor, Bond, I never joke about my work. Aston Martin call it the Vanquish, we call it the Vanish.
Most people say that the invisible car was a Bond gadget too far, and I happen to agree. Even though the explanation is viable, it just seems to be way too silly. So it turns out Frost is an undercover agent working for MI6 and will be following Bond on this case. And she gives her assessment of Bond as a person.
He's a 00, and a wild one, as I discovered today. He'll light the fuse on any explosive situation and be a danger to himself and others. Kill first, ask questions later. I think he's a blunt instrument whose primary method is to provoke and confront. A man nobody can get close to. A womanizer.
Why, thank you, movie. It's not like we've had 19 damn movies to figure that out ourselves. So Bond goes to Iceland, where we meet this lovely chap.
I'm Mr. Kill.
Well, there's a name to die for.
Oh, God, that was just painful. Mr. Kill. Really? His name is Mr. Kill. Gee, I wonder if he's going to be a bad guy. Come on, movie, this is becoming a joke. So Bond goes to the Ice Palace Ball, where we get more of Madonna's horrible theme in the background. And remember, this is taking place in an ice palace in Iceland. So of course, all the women are wearing low-cut dresses, because Iceland is apparently like the Bahamas. And this is also where Bond runs into Jinx again.
And Miss
Swift. Space and Technology magazine.
Really? I take it Mr. Bond's been explaining his Big Bang Theory.
Oh, yeah, I think I got the thrust of it.
I see.
Get it? Will someone please get it so they can stop doing these dumbass sex puns? This is where we also find out that Zhao, who still has those diamonds in his face, is working for Graves because, get this, he's Colonel Moon from the start of the film after going through the gene therapy successfully. So yes, he's the bad guy. Wow, who saw that coming? Oh, that's right, everyone! So anyway, Graves' demonstration is that he has a satellite which can be used as a second sun because it reflects the light from the sun. Wait, how rich is this guy considering he's only been around for 14 months? So Bond wants to know more about Graves' machine, so he goes and has a bit of a spy. But, being the excellent 00 that he is, he gets spotted almost immediately. Luckily, Frost comes to his aid and they act like a couple in love, which of course leads to Bond shagging her. Nice to know you're keeping the British end up, Bond. So Jinx sneaks into the building to confront Graves, but gets captured by Zhao and his power glove. So Bond then goes off to the building where he finds Jinx about to be killed by a laser. Goldfinger, anyone? But anyway, Bond gets into a fight with Mr. Kill, but what I want to know is why do the lasers have a go berserk function when they've been hit? But anyway, Mr. Kill is about to kill Bond when Jinx somehow manages to shoot a laser right through his mouth.
Ooh, nasty.
So to open the door, they cut off Mr. Kill's arm, and then Bond realises who Graves is. He tells Jinx to go meet Frost back in his room, and Bond goes to have a little chat with Graves. But it then turns out that Frost is the mole in MI6 that got Bond caught in Korea. Bond escapes, but then Jinx gets caught. So wait. Jinx, who was supposed to be Bond's NSA equal, has just been released and captured again in less than 10 minutes. Which makes this whole previous scene of the lasers and Mr. Kill entirely pointless. My god. But anyway, Bond gets inside Graves' jet-powered ice car, and then we get to find out what ICARUS' true purpose is.
I'm a firing my laser!
Yes, that's right, a huge-ass laser. So Bond drives the jet car off a cliff, and instead of, burning Bond alive as he's hanging off the cliff, Graves decides to cut off part of the mountain. Bond uses the parachute to get off just in time, and then we get this. Warning, what you're about to see is by far and away the worst scene in James Bond history. You may die laughing. I have nothing to say. Wow, this scene was bad. Can we just move on, please? So Bond steals a snowmobile to get back to the Ice Palace and get his Aston back. But then the invisible car gets found out and Zhao gives chase in his Jaguar, which has missiles, machine gun turret, all those other options you can find on your very own Jaguar XKR. But I must say, this car fight scene is a lot of fun and is definitely the highlight of the movie. Meanwhile, Graves uses the lasers to melt the Ice Palace and try and kill Jinx. Of course Bond saves her, but not before killing Zhao by having him drive off the edge into the water and dropping a chandelier on him. Bond takes an unconscious Jinx to a hot water bath where she wakes up.
What took you so long?
Why don't I leave you to die next time, you stuck-up bitch? So Bond and Jinx meet up with M and Jinx's boss and are told that Graves is stopping off in North Korea and Bond and Jinx have to intercept him. But instead of, just parachuting down there, they go down in things called switchblades, which guess what, don't exist. Anyway, Bond and Jinx sneak onto the plane. While that's going on, Graves meets up with his father while wearing a stupid looking suit which is supposed to control ICARUS, but my god, that just looks so silly. It doesn't look threatening at all. Anyway, we actually get quite a serious moment with Graves' father trying to come to terms with what has happened to his son, and he just can't do it. Graves then shows off the true purpose of ICARUS, which is to blow up the mines in the demilitarized zone so the Koreans can invade Japan. Graves' father can't agree with what his son is doing and pulls a gun on him. But then Graves stops him with poor electric effects and kills him. You know, this scene is just so spoiled by this over-edited slow-mo. Jinx makes her way up to the cockpit and knocks out the pilot and takes over. Bond meanwhile heads off to stop Graves, but instead accidentally shoots out the window, again, Goldfinger, which sucks out pretty much everyone apart from Graves and Bond. Jinx gets caught by Frost again, but this time Frost tells her to put the plane on autopilot, which she does, but she also alters it so it flies into the ICARUS beam, which frees her, and so this means Frost and Jinx can have a cat fight.
I can read your every move. Read this, bitch.
Well, I'll give that line this, it's not the worst pun in the movie. So with Frost dead, Bond and Graves go at it, with Graves shocking the living hell out of Bond. And I swear to God, does the most nonsensical thing that every single Bond villain has to do for some reason. The monologue, instead of, you know, just killing him. Which of course leads to this happening.
Time to face destiny!
Time to face gravity!
Wait, why does the suit have a shock yourself button? And why is it just so easy to find? Very poor design there, Graves. Anyway, with Graves dead, the laser turns off and the day is saved, but the plane is still crashing. So Bond and Jinx escape by having a helicopter, which is full of Graves' diamonds, fall off the back of the burning plane, which of course they start up just in the nick of time. So with the day saved, Moneypenny finishes off the paperwork, and then this happened.
Moneypenny?
I was, just testing it out.
Fan service! And speaking of which, that's what we get for our ending as well.
Wait, don't pull it out. I'm not finished with it yet.
See? It's a perfect fit.
Uh-huh. Leave it in.
Well, it's gonna come out sooner or later.
No, leave it in, please. A few more minutes.
Get it? Get it? Get it? They're talking about the diamonds, not having sex. My God, these puns feel like they've been written by a 12-year-old who just started to get these jokes. Oh, for God's sake. Anyway, that was Die Another Day. This movie is one of the worst Bond films out there. Watching this movie is like watching your dad trying to dance. He's trying so hard to still be cool, but the moment has passed a long time ago. And it's really sad to watch. The villains are just so cliched, and those damn puns are such groaners. Sadly, this was Pierce Brosnan's last time as Bond, which is a shame because he was maybe the second coolest Bond there was, but by this point he was just on the cuff of just being too old for this. But, and this may surprise you, I like this movie. I have no idea why, but it just has an element of fun to it, I find, that I just can't help but like. It is a lot of fun to watch and make fun of, and it's one of those guilty pleasures for me. I don't know what it is, but I kind of like Die Another Day. It's a movie that loads of people hate, but I just so happen to like. So, the name's Hunted, Alexthehunted, and my review may suck, but the film sucks more. And I'm off to Glasgow!
Excellent. Now we can begin.